Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your August 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you who'd like to book a personal reading with me, follow me on Instagram or donate to the channel. Just check out the description of the video for all that information. And for those of you who are used to my normal readings, you might notice there's different tarot cards on the table and also a different spread altogether. So let's cover that real quick. On the left side, we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side, we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And then this is a spread I do called the Bridging the Gap spread. So the way it works is the energies on this side would represent your energy towards the connection with your main love interest. The cards on this side would represent their energy towards the connection. And then these would be the past energies, present energies, future energies. And then after we get through the main spread, we'll actually pull some oracle cards to help tie everything together. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. All right. And also, if for whatever reason you feel like the energy on this side feels more like your energy and this sounds more like the other person's, definitely trust that it is just a general reading. I did have to mention that because at the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Queen of Pentacles. But I do feel for most of you this is going to be your energy, but I just wanted to at least mention a possibility. All right. Past energy on your side, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is a card often referred to as the wish card, but I would say what this is more than anything. Usually this is when you're in that energy where you're feeling comfortable in your own skin, you know your worth and you won't settle for less. And with this card, it's a little bit different than the one in the Rider-Waite Tarot. So what I think about more of this one is it's really being more in that mood to manifest something, because if the Nine of Cups and the Rider-Waite, the guy's just sitting there with his arms crossed and letting everything come to him. Here I get more of the energy of this person's actually willing to manifest what they want. And it's almost like, if you think about the rainbow and the Ten of Cups, it's almost like they're helping to build that themselves, basically. So this could just be saying in the past, you knew what you wanted and you were actually willing and able to manifest it. Past energy on their side, we have the Knave of Swords. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Swords. Now, the first thing that came to my mind with this energy actually is that, especially since this somewhat resembles the woman in that card, even though they're totally different decks, the main thing that I thought of was, you might have actually expressed sexual interest in them, and it might have completely caught them off guard, They might have just been a bit intimidated by it. It looks like he likes what he sees, but he almost doesn't even know what to do with it, basically, you know what I mean? So you might have come across, because you were in that energy ready to manifest, you might have come across very straightforward, and it might have just thrown them, caught them off guard, basically. Because with the Knave of Swords, it's the equivalent of the Page of Swords. So it's like, maybe they're not as confident communicating in that way. So let's say it was sexting, for example, right? Maybe you sent them some pictures and they were like, maybe they definitely liked it, but they were just caught off guard. Like, oh, maybe they personally had never done that before, you know what I mean? Or let's just say anything where you were just being a bit more aggressive and assertive through communication, and they might have just felt a little bit outclassed in that regard, like not really knowing what to say back. That's the main vibe that I'm getting there. In the present position, we have the Prince of Coins. So this is the equivalent of the Knight of Pentacles, and it's actually a Virgo energy. So it could just be pointing to the fact that there's going to be a lot of energy moving into the sign of Virgo through the month of August. But more than anything, I see this as you wanting to give an offer to this person, and it would be an offer of stability, but this energy is usually the slowest moving energy, so it could just be saying that it's really taken you a long time to get to this phase, and maybe this is you trying to take it from the next level, where maybe you're like, okay, well, maybe they didn't take me seriously with what I was saying before, maybe they thought I was just looking for some sex or whatever, and maybe now you're trying to approach them and let them know you're a little bit more serious. That's the way that I see this potentially playing out. In the present energy on their side, though, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So if we look at the card in the upright, just because it's easier to talk about it that way, it could come down to the intimidation again. See, it's really a vibe that I'm starting to pick up on with this spirit is that they seem to be intimidated by you. Because with the Ace of Swords in reverse, what I usually say with the Ace energies, it's not even necessarily something that's tangibly communicated. It's more in the idea stage. So with the Ace of Swords in the upright, that could be saying that, they might be thinking about communicating to you how they're honestly feeling, right? With it in reverse, it's not so much that they're lying to you, but it's more like they're even more withdrawn. Like they're really, that's the vibe I'm getting more than deception. Like they're even more withdrawn and even less communicative with you right now. So that's what you're picking up on. That's what I really think it is. I don't think that it's any intention on their part to lie to you. It could just be that they're really, really just stuck in their heads more than anything. All right, in the future position, we have the Queen of Staves. So this is actually the equivalent of the Queen of Wands, which is the court card for Aries. So this could just be saying that this is the energy you're in right now, a bit more fiery and assertive than normal, right? Which was the vibe that I was picking up on just from the way we see their energy. So maybe that's just how you're coming across, and this could just be saying that another way you could look at it is with the fourth house, because Aries is your fourth house. This could just be saying that you're trying to come across a bit more nurturing towards them in a way. So you're still harnessing that fiery energy that you have, but you're like, all right, let me try to come across a bit more, nurturing and romantic towards them, right? That's what I'm really getting the vibe of. It's like you're putting in effort with this person and you're trying different ways and you're like, okay, what is their deal? It's like you feel like you're not getting any traction with them, basically. That's really what I'm picking up on primarily here. And their future position, we have the Nine of Swords. So, if we think about the Nine of Swords in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's a lot different than this one, right? It's the person in bed. Looks like they just had a nightmare and there's 9 swords up along the wall. So to me, the main thing I'm getting here is, again, they're just trapped in their head. That's primarily what I'm getting there. And I think it's primarily because they're intimidated by you. So I don't know if this is someone that's, younger than you. Maybe that's what the Knave of Swords was about. Maybe they're just younger than you. But yeah, I'm definitely just getting intimidation. And maybe it's because you might remind them of someone that they've been with in the past that they really, really gave their hearts to, and it might have really gone wrong for them. Because when I see that black cat walking through there, everything looks great about this scene, right? But then there's that black cat. So it might be like they feel like they're cursed. Like, okay, well, I was in a connection just like this in the past, right? Everything seemed great, and then it really went off the rails. So, you might be triggering that in them, and that might be why they're a bit hesitant to come toward you. And I mean, the frustrating part is there's nothing you could do about that, right? I mean, it looks like you're trying all different kinds of ways, but it just seems like that's where they're at right now. We'll see if the Oracle cards add any additional information to that. But what's interesting is on the bottom of the deck on your side, we have the King of Coins, which is actually, it's technically a Taurus court card, but since you guys are Pentacles as well, could definitely be pointing to your energy or even just what's on your mind right now. Taurus is your 5th house, so that could be how you're coming across right now, almost like a Leo type energy, like fiery, very proud and confident, and that could be what's really making them feel a bit intimidated. But then on their side, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So, I mean, bottom of the deck, we have King on your side, Queen on their side. So you would think that there's definitely a pair here, right? But what I get with this particular Queen of Pentacles card, which first of all, it is a Capricorn card, so I feel like this is more them down there, right? They might feel, again, like I said, I feel like they're intimidated by you. So they almost feel like, oh, I have to kiss this person's feet, So that's really the vibe that I'm getting there. Like, you really just might intimidate this person for whatever reason, and that could be what's holding things up right now. Like I said, I don't know how you would necessarily get around that, but we'll see if the oracle cards add any additional insight to it. All right, so first I'll try to pull some cards from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck I have here, see if we get any additional messages. So I do shuffle this deck before I start recording, and then what I like to do is we go through the main spread like we just did, then I'll try to get some additional messages from this deck. And what I do is I like to get jumpers only, so if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes out, I'll just roll with that. I won't force anything, I won't pull from the top or just pull a random card. But first we'll see if there's any unspoken messages from them toward you. Alright, doesn't seem like anything's coming up, but I'll shuffle for a little bit longer. Oh, there we go. Got one for you. And now let's see if there's any unspoken messages from them toward you. Alright, I'll shuffle a little bit more to see if we get anything, but nothing yet. Alright, nothing coming up there, unfortunately, so we'll just stop at that. So, the card that you guys got as far as unspoken message from you towards them is my heart is telling me just do it. So that makes sense, actually, because, you know, like I said, it seems like, it doesn't seem like you're getting any traction with them, but you're like still trying different ways to get through to this person. And, you know, I don't know if that was more where, like I said, maybe for some of you, you sent them a, you know, racy text message, whatever, actual, you know, images or just actual the way you communicated to them. Maybe that's where it started. But just throughout, like I said, it looks like you're putting an effort, and this person just seems to be really stuck in their head. And like I said, I think it's primarily more intimidation than anything. And it has to be a little frustrating because how do you get around that, right? You can't make them feel differently toward that. I mean, it looks like you're putting in the effort, but maybe check out their sign, see what their reading says, you know. Well, let's see if we get any additional messages from this deck. So this is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. For those of you who do watch my normal readings, I always use this deck, so you're probably used to it. See if we get any additional messages from this one, and then we'll wrap up. Just looking for one card here. Okay, got one. Alright, so the card you guys got is Truth to be Told. Interesting, right? Because it certainly doesn't seem to be coming from their end, but there's the artwork for it, and the number is 14, which is actually the major arcana card of Temperance, too. So maybe that's saying that maybe balance can be restored, especially because Jupiter is going to go direct in the sign of Sagittarius too, so maybe that'll help. But let's see. It says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. The oracle's message: there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. So it's funny because all of these messages that I was getting here on your side, it seems like you are totally coming from that energy. So I don't know. The whole part about be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. It looks like it might take a miracle to get them from, not being stuck in their head. But I see that as they're definitely, you're on their mind and there seems to be attraction, but it's just intimidation, I feel. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how you get around that. But the relationship message says people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So again, it's funny because the messages here are basically telling you to do what it looks like you've already been doing and will be doing. So I don't know. It's almost like this message could have been more helpful for them, like they're the ones who seem like they're not communicating and seem to be really stuck in their head. So unless this did work out the other way around, this was actually your energy, then yeah, there you go. Maybe that's the message for you, is to be more open. But yeah. Too bad we can't get your person to see this, right? If it is the way that it looks originally, which is that's their energy. But I don't know what to tell you. I say maybe put in the effort. Maybe all these retrogrades clearing up and the eclipse energy clearing up as we move through August will help them get, from not being stuck in their head anymore. But I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily see that there. Hopefully it works out for you guys, though, and I'll see you all next month. All right? Bye.